Angeles has a person like this, and someone who is willing to share. We're going to pick his brain tonight. The Sevcik bowing skills that he's learned from many years ago, he's willing to share with us. We've got to get it all on video, so we have a wonderful Paul Brandt, who's an ASTA member, who's helping us out. In fact, there are a lot of ASTA members here. Donna and Joanne, and where's Charlie?
Oh, he just went to the other room.
Okay, Charlie and Joanne Osmus Baker are our hosts tonight, providing this for us. And Charlie's been a board member. They open their homes frequently, this wonderful place for us. And it's really wonderful to have something that we can all gather and enjoy something like this. So we're going to let him talk and talk and talk and demonstrate and show us all kinds of things. Feel free to use your cameras and whatever you want. And if you want to come up close and get something that he's trying to show you a good point about, feel free to do that. And then later we're going to get our music stands out, open your cases, and try these things. So first let's learn as much as we can. I won't tell you all about him because it's all on the page, and this man is amazing. So, well, please welcome Peter Marsh.
Thank you so much. I feel very close to Sevcik, but I never knew him. Is anyone here by chance? Did anyone meet Sevcik?
In another life.
And actually, most of it, as it explains in the little bio, it was Scott Willits. Scott Willits was a man who was at American Conservatory for many, many years, and he was a student of many different famous people in Europe, but most of all Sevcik. He finally chose Sevcik, and he spent 7 years with him and got to know very thoroughly how he taught this. You know, it's so often that, you know, when you have someone like Sevcik who has written so many exercise books and the like, and it's really, you can tell sometimes what he's asking for. But so far as this particular Opus 3 is concerned, he didn't leave a great deal. There was, in the first editions, it was, according to Scott Willits, that had nothing to do with Sevcik, and of course it's in several languages as well. But of course Sevcik in his day had people coming from all over the world to Písek, which is a place just below Prague, which I went to, as a matter of fact, several years ago. Actually, I went to Dvořák's birthplace, because I'm not Czech at all myself, but I was always taken by Sevcik and what he did and how. And I'm trying to remember the name of the man who was the grandfather. Maybe that's
Dvořák.
no, the grandfather, the grandson of Dvořák.
Joseph
His last name.
Joseph Sue?
Joseph Suk, yeah. I met Joseph Suk there, and that was when I had some time away from my university.
He's concertized in this country.
What?
In Washington, I heard him in the Library of Congress.
He what?
I heard him in the Library of
We
Congress.
did, yes. Well, I've heard him in New York too. He's a great violinist, Joseph Suk. And I tried to find out something about Sevcik from him, but I couldn't find out. And I was there in Czechoslovakia to try to find out something. And
I have a question. How do you say his first name?
Joseph?
No,
Sevcik.
Sevcik.
Oh. What's his first name?
Oh,
Otakar, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Takar.
yeah.
Otakar. It's I've seen it spelled Ottakar and also
Otakar.
Otakar. So, and that's, anyway, the things that I really got from Willett were actually how he used his Opus 3. And Willett from Chicago, he told me that this was the only book that he really used. Now he's got his Opus 2, which is full of just millions of notes in there, but it really doesn't give a whole combination of things that are specifically, have specifically to do with this or that kind of bowing, and whereas this does. But now, the one thing that he told me, that Willett told me, that sort of scared me off a little bit about it, although I wanted to learn about it because it was so highly recommended to me. I went to him, I was in the Navy, as a matter of fact, and I was stationed at Great Lakes Naval Training, and there are a lot of people in the band there who went down to take lessons from him, because there are a lot of violinists actually, and that was the largest band in the Navy they had, other than the one in Washington. I found out that he always started first at the Frog for 3 months at least. Supposed to do this for 3 months. Now, this takes a lot of patience, I think. But I went through it. And I think I learned ultimately that there was a good reason for this, because it's really complicated. And there are essentially two, with the levers in the arm, like the wrist and the elbow, you have also all of these levers in here, and it's very complicated. And he set it up as having the direct action, that is directly from the wrist, where you're just drawing from the wrist only, and then arm, which draws everything. And the arm actually is from the wrist up, because when we draw up with this system, it pulls this until it's almost straight on. And then when you draw it back down, it opens up like this. What's this doing? Sticking out here. Well, then we have to get into the grip. The grip is a situation where it's just between the side of the thumb pushing into the first joint of the second finger. In other words, it's not like many people have it, where you're doing this and you're tightening the first finger for strength. It has to do with this taking care of all this, the strength that you need here, just to hold on to the bow. It's not very much. How much is this weigh? Very little. But to find something that really makes sense insofar as the fingers are concerned. And actually, it really pretty much wasn't until Oistrakh came to this country that anyone played any other way than this way, no matter how much weight of the arm you had down or how little, this stayed. Whereas, everyone noticed this. And amazing how many thousands of violins all of a sudden that you could see in many symphonies that were going back and forth like this. Well, the main reason for that is that really when it opens up, in other words, if I have this like here, I'm about halfway between here and there. And this is the hand in open position, so-called. Well, just figure that's the reason why, because the first finger's open, and then closing, it closes back down. Now, meanwhile, back at all of these places where we're supposed to be, if we take first the closed position, what do? I just go as far as I can go. That's all. No further. I don't go way down there because that's all. But as far as the hand, your hand will go. Everyone's a little different. Some people will all of a sudden go way down there. But it's very important that when this happens, that we pick up with the thumb, and the thumb is about a 45-degree angle, pressing in the side of the thumb. Why the side of the hand? No, because you can't turn that thumb around without, pulling the muscle. So this is just the natural way that it happens, okay? So when it's in closed position, these, the fourth fingers are just about straight out, and then on the tip, and then the ring finger is right here, supporting the second finger, which does this. And then, what on earth about this? What's the story about this opening and closing? Well, if you have, for instance, I'm going to try this once, open and close, open and close. You notice what's happening if I do this, open, close. Goes basically, if I do it this way, go up and down, even though I'm going diagonally this way. So this is basically the way everyone has different hands, but basically this is all the similarity insofar as this grip is concerned. And grip is really important to be held strongly between these two, but not that strong. I mean, firmly. Grip doesn't sound right. It's like that. And especially, just like posture, anything like that. If all of a sudden I start playing something like this, that's not going to work. And likewise with the hand coming up here, and you notice how this is going up and down like this. Not straight up. I try to go straight up and down. I have to pull my muscles around and so on. So that, if it's just easy as pie or whatever, it's up and down like this, not a problem, not a problem. So when we have that, then if I hold it in the open position like this and come over and put this down here and remove my thumb, I have found that I've got just the right, for me anyway, I'm not going to, fall over or anything, but it's balanced. It's really good. That's not easy to get. And what I'm doing here, tiny shimmy. Very important element to test to see, okay, oh, or it's too high or too low. And it needs to be really easy. Everything's got to be easy. Otherwise, it's not conforming. And then what Myron Cohen said in that article, it's so important. The whole thing, this whole basis of the bow harmony is relaxation, being able to stay relaxed. And even coming up like this, a lot of people do that, but it's really not necessary. And it's really important to have this kind of posture, even though if you have to lean over or something like that, still it really works out best that way anyway. So the grip is really very important too, and as a matter of fact, if anyone would like to pull out your bows and get
It might be good, I just get a bow on it.
Sure, just get a sense of this. So I haven't drawn it over here, but just starting out by having. So in other words, the Sevcik thing is to start out like this. Okay, why am I doing this? So I stop, and that should be the natural difference between your fingers, and not necessarily that will go well for you. And mine, for instance, I'm right up against my second finger. Now, if I bring it out like that, I'll forever be stretching. You don't want to do that. You feel like, oh boy, that's strong because I'm doing this. But then I don't have any of this that's possible. So I chose to keep this, and I find out for a while, if I do this here, it's a little better, a little further away, I get a little more pressure with no foot. Now, what am I doing with this? This is pronation. Do you use that term? Pronation. For all sorts of things like that. And see, another thing about this, when you open and close, you need to have this indentation, not a big indentation, of the first joint of the thumb. And it's not, but should be enough, should never be locked. Should never be around here. Of course, we all know that pretty much. I mean, see, teachers and everything. But this is very important to have this not move within itself when you open it up. What does that do? You see, remember what we did just now? Up, close, open, close, open, close. I'm moving into the hand. I even touched the hand with my thumb. I move into the hand. And that opens it. And then when you see, in other words, if I close it again this way, okay, it goes right down again, right? Up and down, but at an angle. And this is the whole world from here to there, of course. And but it's really important to have this open. Why? Because if I start and then come back, notice what happened? Suddenly this went up a little bit, my arm went up, and now it goes back down, comes back up. Meanwhile, back at the thumb, it has to be really, it has to still be straight. And all of these fingers must move considerably between here and there. And that's essentially the direct action of the hand. And it comes, and it's basically just moving the hand, but the wrist is not involved. Why not? It's maybe a tiny bit, but if I do this with the wrist, I mean, the wrist has to be loose, but it has nothing to do, this has nothing to do with the violin. This has, now, here we go, down, 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 down. Now, so what I'm doing is I come in like this, I'm in open position, I come in and I sort of sink in a little bit, and that's my way to the arm. The shimmy is the way to the arm. Just, so if I hit the bottom, if I do da 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 da, much more, if da, less, so you can get all, but this is really coming from the forearm. But it's straight up and down. Why? Because we're at the hand. The same thing, or it's from here and there. I mean, these are all very, we all know these principles, but the whole idea in Sevcik and starting at the frog is to learn how to somehow be able to manage this, because basically when I'm approaching again, opening this again so I can start down bow on this, or not. Now that's indirect action. What's indirect action? Indirect action is from the arm. And as I go down, I gradually increase my pronation. How I do that? Because most everything, this is the most important element for pronation, is the roundness of this. It really comes from the upper muscle of the forearm, whereas this just hangs in there. It just, it's not needed. Except, well, if you need to lift up, you don't want to lift up that much, because maybe here, and then sink in. Why? Because there's that much distance between between being here and being here. So with a very quick little movement there, that gives me, and also same thing down here. And notice how this passes down further, just like this and that, this and that, this and that, this, same thing. So that whole element is part of the whole puzzle. So up, down. He had actually, there's an exercise called 4-tone scales. Does anyone know what that is? besides my wife, who it's a long time ago. This is a Sevcik exercise, which is primarily for the left hand, but the right hand is just as important, in my opinion. Then you start here. Down here, especially, I feel a little bit of this. And then down here, of course, this is going on, which is it's good thing that I'm not doing this, because I'm always lead with the wrist on the draw. And on this particular draw, being, of course, what is it called? One is direct, that's direct action because it comes from here, actually from the hand. I should say from the thumb. So a lot of people have noticed it. Probably, I'm sure you've noticed students who've got very tight there. This happens just like getting tight here or tight here or tight down there. Whereas this has to be the always changing and the indirect action. So the indirect action means the direct plus the draw of the bow. So these are all terms. But the number 13 that I mentioned as being the most important one in the book, and one which I worked on a long time, is just learning how to do this at the start. Later on, go to the middle, we go to the tip, we go to the whole bow, and so on. He believed that you have to spend 3 months in jail. That is here. For instance, I'm doing 8 of these, and after 8 of each note that is in 13, well, that's probably the hardest one to do, because you have to do it so many times, you have to think about it to make sure that it's exactly where it should be. And then at the end, it's always on the 8th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, change. So you always change. So to the level, well, string level. And then after doing that for a while, they come down to do 4 of them. Notice what I'm doing? I'm stopping, and then usually after the end of 8, when we do 8, or when we do 4, I check. And you do 2 things. If you remove the thumb and you collapse, you don't have the balance of the bow. It's not just where you have it in fingers, but also it's got to be just in the right spot, so it's not going to, you're not going to fall forward or backwards with it. And also so that you can, when you can shimmy, the shimmy, so important there, so. So this is, these are very, see, I have enough in here. And notice my bow speed, it's very fast, but not too fast. If I do something like this, then I'm all tied up. See, this is relaxing. So I'm supposed to be relaxing. That's the really hard thing about this. It drove me crazy. Anyway, but I think it really, this is what it teaches, relaxation. And unless you have that in mind, now a lot of people who start out at first, they may have the problem with some of the fingers or the thumb, or some people have the thumb which gets almost locked, if not actually locked. See, there's such an importance in having just that much really clear, because you can do a lot of things with that being balanced. So things like that there, that's really a typical thing about it. So, and then also finding, I always think that you need, whether it's up down, something like that, where you are just doing just a little tiny thing here with an up bow, or now here you don't have to lift out, but let's go up here for a minute. See, there's quite a bit more freedom here in what you can do, because you've got all the mix going. Things like that. That comes later. But anyway, this is really important as starting out by this being quick. And shimmy. I changed levels. Shimmy again. Now if you shimmy, it's not, don't force it, just very, very light, so you get the feel of light. Maybe I reflect my own problems of being, very muscular when I was a kid, and I was very tight. And 86 years old, I'm still working on it. Anyway, so it's really interesting, the whole idea of doing it. It breaks itself. B-R-A-K-E-S, itself. So I didn't do it, oh, I gotta catch it, or the other way around. So all of this is, as they say, natural. Well, what's natural? It has to be relaxed, and that's the wrong word for it too, because he believed in two things, gravity and tension. That's what Sevcik always said. Gravity, like this, weight of the arm. No, just exactly feeling where that is and what you need to do to get necessarily drawing a draw faster, 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 fastest, less. Also, you need the least here. Why? Because it's where the frog. And one of the things about the frog is it has to be very lightly done. Now this especially is going to sound too much. But you don't want to sound, that's too much. But just enough to shimmy lightly. You shimmy lightly. Oops, what did I do? Now, I'm getting into one of my favorite things about this, which is another way of doing this. And I hope you're making notes on all these things. Actually, that's all straight notes. And now, we do these all by 4s or by 8s. I'd first do 8 of these. And then I do 4. See, I'm trying to play this so it's not too much of that, or it gets a little risky, like they have a cough. That's the hardest thing and the most vexing part of it, but it's really important to always be able to have this feel of your weight of the arm all the way at the front. How many people play here?
Not enough.
Yeah, and this is, to get back to this 4-tone scale, this works very well. That's another silly idea too, but it's true that, if you play start a little quicker with you don't need much, hardly need any weight of the arm, but you do need enough to open this up. So you want to always have as much as possible, and then you gradually go faster and increasing the pronation. Those things are really all important. However, I would think that, for instance, if you take number 16 in the, I hope we will have the same numbers, and this is really, I'm just giving you all the worst, most issues needing things, but I haven't done this in a long time either. But you see, what we were just talking about before, about this thing going up and down like this, which is, you know, which we do with this, or no, but this is indirect action, right? And 16, is that, do I have the right number?
You do.
I'm using, maybe down to here a little bit, because I'm too scared to do less yet. I don't know what I can do. Yeah, not bad. But you know, it's amazing, just the difference between using this much bow and that much bow. I have to hold on, I'm holding on to it like this. All of the feet. Why? Because I'm not down here with this, and with this. That has to do with using a lot of weight of the arm. And when you're not using the weight of the arm, and I must say I did not learn a great deal of this from the book here, but just sheer sounds, for instance, something like that, where you start very quiet. And what do you do? Because I went down here, and Sevick is part of the bow, and I wanted to be strong to start with. So and this happens a lot. And so this is one of the reasons that I think this is really important, because you're placing yourself every time. Shimmy. Shimmy. And we find it. This is all 13. Continuously but it's good to stop now and see if you're just doing this or just this or what. But you need to do the whole bit. That is totally closed, totally open, totally closed, totally open. But that's not that area that doesn't necessarily play that way all the time with all the music, but it opens up totally the ease to play with this lever. And this lever needs that. It's a little bit like finding just the right combination where vibratos good on every finger in every place in the fingerboard. That's something else.
We got 7:45 now.
Thank you.
Do you want to go through some of them?
Yeah, maybe this would be good to have an orchestra. And I can come around and kibbles. But we start off first with the lovely sounds here. Maybe stop it first. Maybe do 4. Stop. Shimmy. change it. On the fourth one, every fourth one, or the last one of the same one, or the same string, when you're changing, like. And so on. So, okay, so let's see. Maybe we should also. Can
Want us to
you
get our
do the
instruments out?
sitting down? What?
Should we get our instruments out? or-
Yeah, that's Oops, let's do it. I have it slightly higher. I'd say 442. Okay, let's try this first checking up on this second finger and side of the thumb pressing in, and we're in closed position. Okay, so notice I should really start with this and find out what the space is between the fingers, and really straight out, and let them fall. And then in the forward position, you just pick it up as much as you can. First off, it's directly across from the first finger and the second finger is the side of the thumb. And you also notice that you could even touch hair against the indented thumb. A lot of people forbid that. But it works. So, in other words, like so. And then we do this, open, close. So when we open, we come up and into the hand until this, many of you would be able to do what I do. I just bring it right up and touch the top of the hand here. Yeah, it's good. See, and then, in other words, when you come up like this, eventually this may open for you. Let's see. Eventually, may not at first, if you're not used to that. Anyway, that's open and close. So we open, and then notice my arm and around. So not very high. Not very high. I have to be high enough so that I'm over. So I come down. I'm still in open position here, and when I'm in open position, if I do this shimmy, and the shimmy is the weight of the arm. There's not very much, but it's the weight of the arm, and it's primarily here, of course, but there's a little bit up there, see?
Relax your sunrise.
Well, when I see, I'm in open position when I go like this. And remember, the open position is diagonally up, and then it's diagonally down when I go to the closed position. Why? Because that's where it falls. And when you want to go and open things, you see there's sort of a hole here when I'm in closed position. And then I come up like this, and it automatically rounds the fingers considerably. And it's one of the ways of, holding the instrument, the bow that is. And almost everywhere, different places, because you have actually for this hand, you have the most flexibility with this. You have less flexibility here. When you're pulling up, see, this just gets pulled back up, pulled down. Why? Because we're drawing from the wrist. Hardly opens at all, but I'm opening it a little bit. But if I get pronated a great deal, or I hardly need any pronation at the beginning, if I'm in and I'm doing this shimmy helps. And then so we're here. So let's go down here. Let's do this a couple more times. See how it's coming. Open, close. Open, close. Open, close. You see, the thumb is doing it. In other words, the thumb is going into the hand and up. And I don't really quite touch it, but it's very close to being in the hand. But I'm not changing. See, it stays the same. What stays the same? The thumb does. The fingers do not. So I come back up like this, and these are really round. These are really round. Now they're straight up, almost. It's diagonal this way, but they're straight on in the sense that they're almost straight out in comparison with open, close, open, close, open, close. That's another way of doing it. Yeah, that's good. And then pull back up, down, up, all along. Hold on to this, and I'll let this lead all the way down, all the way back up. These are the two leaders on the very edge of the bow. So this is like this, open. You notice also the open comes out like this and in.
So
it
you
goes.
cannot use the U as a placement for middle finger? Your middle finger actually is here?
No, the middle placement, yeah. The middle finger comes over the top.
Can you balance it on the ferrule? Is that where you put it? You put your middle finger on there, the middle?
No,
Okay.
doesn't quite make it. You see, if I a little further over there, you see, I need to have the first joint on the top. You know, when I indicated before, see, second joint, first joint, tip, actually. And this is really the balance of the fourth finger. It doesn't balance very well if it's in closed position. Doesn't do it. It has to have, of course, the roundness. But with this, so most of the time, it's pretty much this one. When we're doing this, this is extreme. To come all the way like what I'm doing here is, of course, indirect action. But now that's direct action. Number 13. So, shimmy. Back over. I always change the level when I go to on the string before I go to the next level. Back to the D string. Back to the G. So this is kept in order, so we know where we are. And then all of that comes about really with the shimmy. With the shimmy here. Now here, if I'm in between, I don't do. But if I have several, of course, I change levels on the last of the four. But if I just go immediately, I use this. So in other words, I'm using that, the space in between, which takes me back and forth. So now, So I'm keeping this the same. No, that doesn't happen very often. It does with Sevcik. But it really, it makes sure that the whole mechanism is happening. I don't know. So let's see what we can do. Let's just try to do this. 4 of them for each one on 13. Okay, so up, up, stop, shimmy. After there's another. On the 4th one, I change. 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 We won't go that fast, maybe. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, let's go 4 on the 4th one. Change right away. I'll show you. Here. Stop. Shimmy. Go. Back. But it's tedious, it's really tedious, but the main thing is that you got to think to yourself, okay, shimmy, that means relax. Are you relaxed? Are you relaxed here? Because if you keep going with this without doing that at first, it's just, it's not driving crazy. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea, you think? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know myself. I did a lot of one summer when our quartet, we replaced the Budapest when they retired to do all the Beethoven quartets, and I had to go through. I went through 3 sessions with this guy Scott Willits, and got a tremendous amount done. And I was trying to do this at the same time playing all these other quartets. And I felt very schizophrenic or whatever.
I have a question. I noticed that some of the exercises that you marked as frog exercises in the book actually mention that they should be played in the middle.
Oh, yes.
Is this just like he would do them in both places?
Yes. Yeah. But we shouldn't pay any attention to that yet, because that's the way it was put down at the beginning. It was not really according to Willits, so it was crazy, the editing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so these
And-
were
and-
editor's
very
markings, not Sevcik's, is what you're saying?
Yeah, a lot is not subject. But, for instance, what we've been doing with all this evening really is very much Sevcik, because this is how Sevcik wanted people to start there and then go on to other things as well, to do the middle bow and the full. And that's the four-tone scale thing, which and you notice what I did with the bow, and I give this to my students and make them suffer, and they, it's amazing. Most students, even, they can only do the left hand, they can't do both at the same time. And so, it's not good. I've always been insisting that they have to, this has got to happen too. So after a while, just by being able to get the feel of this, the sound, there's much more sound. And because so many, it's perfectly natural, even in orchestras too. There's not, mostly in the middle of, although I'll never forget this one guy in Boston Symphony with his white hair and about fifth stand back. He was like this. He was playing. Oh, it was absolutely magnificent. Love it. I don't know, maybe he wasn't making any sound at all. But it was good.
I have a question.
I couldn't hear that.
I have a question if I might.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that Sevcik would start the students at the frog with all this that you just talked about.
Yes.
Even the very young ones, 4 and 5-year-olds?
No,
Or
I didn't get any answers about that. But, I think it's possible to do some fun things down here anyway. Let's not make it so that much like that. How about a bit lighter? Let's change strings or things like that. I mean, this is something you can adapt pretty much to anything. I mean, I haven't done these exercises in a long time, actually. And someone asked me about the idea of doing this. And actually I had, when I taught at IU, I did have a bowing class there, but it was a bogus class. A whole bunch of guys wanted to know more about it. It wasn't really down, but that's pretty much it. With me, it's always been pretty much a one-to-one thing. But for this kind of situation here, what I'm trying to do is at least being able to, another of these things is making sure, you just have this much here and you can go weekend, so many people go out there, or they don't even go there. It's amazing, because I still have students that you shoot them pretty soon. What to do? What do you do?
Shoot them.
So, what I thought was, at least we've got this is the most important one of these that has always been thought of.
Should we get out our music stands and play through?
Pardon?
Should we get out the music stands and play some of these?
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, some of the other ones that I have down. We could do that.
Want to get your stands?
Yeah, that's just.
And I'll just tape it.
So you're going to do the Opus 13, Peter?
So I heard you guys.
You don't have the Opus 13?
We just did.
Also, you're gonna I have the viola.
Yeah, he was like, oh my god, actually just for like 2 hours. And event, so I totally get it when you do music, it's so exciting. Like when I was I was like, playing viola for hours and I hardly knew viola. But when you have equipment you really like, you know, the sound, it's like, oh my god, I keep going to then some school starts to like,
Push my
yeah,
mind
I'm
myself over
fine, I always
to
skill with
Right, I know you have a copy of it, but what is it?
Did you decide to purchase this one?
no, I'd say hold off.
Catalog, what each of the.
I figured the whole card thing was a sign that you probably would. And I told him, I said, I definitely want to go back to you guys. I've tried violas and Calvert and Venice. I've won everywhere. This is the only viola that really helps me now. And like, I was confident with viola.
No, I'm just asking
But
because.
for some reason, I can't get, I don't know if I'm shorter here.
That's why I was asking.
But I felt so bad.
Oh, okay.
I definitely want
Yeah.
a 53
I mean, I figured that's what it was about.
Yeah, so I definitely want to go and I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
There's one guy I really like, guy from River or whatever, Rabu or whatever. He's in New York, apparently a lot of people go to him. But his skills are like 30. I'm like, I don't play this side. I don't deserve that. But 16,000 would be a build all lots maybe. By the way. It just sucks because like, spending your life setting up for
So let's start with 13 now. We should do 13. Okay, let's try this. In other words, start this, and then we do 8. Let's start with 8. Yeah, so we've got to check on everything. Everything is how you're holding it. Okay? So, okay, now let's start with 8. 2, and. Stop. Now we stop after that. Shimmy. Just to check, make sure you've got your shimmy there. Okay, check on your. Okay, here we go with the next one. Okay. Okay, now we're back on the G string. Now. of the things about doing so many of these, we kept going and then we're leaving the frog for someone else. You have to make sure, you know, a lot of it has to do, always make sure your up bow is strong enough. Don't want to work yourself down too much, okay? So, let's go and do just 4. Could we try just 4? And then the 5th beat will be a little longer, so they have a chance to, I'll show you what I mean. 1, 2, 8 again. Now, the first 4 is just straight 4s. Now, the second 4 is, that's the second 4. Okay, so we did the first 4 regular, straight. The second is wait a little bit, so you get a chance to find yourself. Some people are here and there. Well, it has to always return to the frog and try to keep in this area comfortable as you can, because it should. Okay, let's try 8. Just only the second half of those 8. Just, okay. 1, 2, and.
end our program.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, next time, let's get into some other things too. Yes.
We've managed to complete one of our 4 evenings that we planned. We have next Friday night. Dr. Baker said we can come back. We have 2 of them set up in February for the 16th and the 23rd. These are all Friday nights. You can see there's a lot to learn and a lot more that we'd like to cover, right? And if there are a few people coming next time who've not been with you before, we don't want you to start all over again, but you need to do a little review.
Yeah, yes, we'll review, and then maybe if we do these other variations are not so basic. So we do one, station 1, 2.
Around the list,
Yeah,
we'll go to those.
yeah.
Okay, ones that were on the list.
1, 2, 4, 6, 8.
1, 2, 4, 6, 8 next Friday.
Yeah. We'll work on those. We'll work on those.
If you like the dates, happy to give you more. We have more. Anybody else need? If you're a chamber music student, you may come free. We'll pay for you. But obviously, American Stream Teacher members, we love it that we've been able to provide this for one session. I think it's really worth it to come back, don't you? So if you would like to, would you please mark on here that yes, you're coming back? We'll say, because there are other people coming next week that couldn't come tonight. We want to make sure we don't overload it. Too many people. So please say yes on here if you're coming back next week.
Thank you, Mrs.
What level are you going
Kids are third to eighth grade.
Yeah.
And they would be, are you familiar with this? So say like 2 and up. You know, entry level would be like, 5 and 2. And then,
Saturdays?
yeah, we work on But some people, if they have another program, it's fine. Okay, we have people what do you, anyway, check out the website. They don't have a audition.
I think it's age.
April 1st, start yeah. And then once a year we constitute some strengths.
Because I just don't have a lot of time in my schedule in place to do these reschedules. So I
Right, that's what we're.
I mean, maybe.
Right, yeah.
If he comes back,
For that, well,
I could
Are you
just
familiar with work
watch.
levels? Okay. I mean, you can, if they can, well, okay. Okay, you're a chair job. Entry, I know. Entry level would be like the end of one. Okay, like he is, F natural, C natural.
Did you drive all the way from LA?
no, I live in Whittier. So it's very close.
Oh, okay. I don't know why.
Where do you live?
I live down the street off
Right,
Chapman.
I know you're teaching here.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where you live.
I live literally off of Chapman.